Who were history's greatest conquerors? Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Hannibal? All great warriors, all great conquerors, right? Well, not exactly. Let me explain. You see, history's greatest conquerors weren't just warriors. They were master strategists who understood people, politics, and power better than anyone else. Alexander the Great, for example, wasn't just a brilliant military tactician, he was also a master of public relations. He knew how to win the hearts and minds of the people he conquered, which is why his empire lasted as long as it did. Similarly, Genghis Khan wasn't just a ruthless killer, he was also a brilliant organizer and administrator. He created a meritocracy in Mongolia when he took the title of Khagan, meaning he appointed people to influential positions based on their skills and abilities rather than their social status or wealth. So what made these conquerors successful? What can we learn from them? Let's find out. No. 1. Know your enemy and know yourself. This is one of the most famous quotes in military history, and it's also one of the most important. If you don't know your enemy, you're doomed to lose. If you don't know yourself, you're also doomed to lose. But if you know both, you're unstoppable. That's why the best conquerors study their enemies, their strengths, their weaknesses, their resources, their morale. They also study themselves, their own strengths and weaknesses, their capabilities and limitations, their resources and liabilities. And they use this knowledge to their advantage. Number 2, be prepared to adapt. The world is always changing, and you need to be prepared to change with it. The best conquerors are flexible. They're able to adapt their strategies and tactics to the situation on the ground. They're not afraid to experiment, and they're always learning from their mistakes. No. 3. Use the element of surprise. The best conquerors know how to keep their opponents off balance. They use surprise attacks, deception, and psychological warfare to gain an advantage. They're unpredictable, and their opponents never know what to expect next. 4. Strike first and strike hard. The best conquerors are aggressive. They don't wait for their enemies to strike. They take the initiative, and they go on the offensive. They hit their enemies when they're weak, and they exploit their weaknesses. No. 5. Be ruthless. The best conquerors are ruthless. Not afraid to make hard decisions, and they willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. They're not bound by rules or ethics, and they will stop at nothing to conquer. Now remember, conquering isn't just about military victories. It's also about achieving political and economic objectives. The best conquerors are those who can build an empire that lasts. They create institutions, infrastructure, and systems that outlive them. So who are some of the greatest conquerors in history? Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Hannibal, all great conquerors, yes. But let's also remember Queen Elizabeth I, Akbar the Great, Harold Macartney, even Mahatma Gandhi. They too conquered, not through war and violence, but through diplomacy, innovation, and sheer willpower. Conquering isn't always a bad thing. In fact, sometimes it's necessary. When done right, it can bring order to chaos, stability to anarchy, peace to war. But it's a dangerous game, and only the best players can win. Do you agree with our list? Who are some of the greatest conquerors in history? Let us know in the comments.